Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the VSBN Podcast. My name is Glaucia. My company's name is Renovaction, and here with me we have...
Good morning, I'm Cynthia from Metrolinx Property Advisors, and we are vendor and buyers advocates.
Amazing. We are cabinet makers, and today we are going to talk about the cabinet making industry and also the property industry. Very interesting topics. So, Cynthia, why don't we start with you? And I would like to know more, what is a buyer's advocate?
Buyers advocates, also known as buyers agents, we licensed professionals that work exclusively for the buyer and not the seller. As whilst real estate agents work to get the highest price for the vendor, buyers advocates, we help our buyers think smart, negotiate and avoid costly mistakes and get the property for the best price. How we do this? We search, assess and negotiate. Take our client's strategy to achieve their best goal. Outcome for their goals. That's what a buyer advocate's all about.
Good. Why choose a buyer's advocate? And for example, why not go directly to a real estate agent, for example?
Okay, so buying the home truths. Most buyers are confused by the market, worried about overpaying for a property, tired of wasting weekends at inspections and just missing out at auction. And that's where we come in, so they don't have to do it on their own and they've got support. So I think we're a total game changer when buying a property. We bring together our expertise, access to off and on-market properties, meaning advertised and non-advertised properties, just experience negotiation, so having that as a power, and just a strategy. So whether it's a first home buyer, upsizer, downsizer, we just help the decision making align with the client's long-term goals.
Oh, that's good. And what would you say are the three biggest mistakes that buyers make when looking for a property? What they should avoid?
I would probably say the first thing is their emotional attachment, because you're spending a lot of money, so your heart takes over your head. That would be one of the biggest ones. Focusing on the property and not the bigger picture, and trying to do it all themselves. There's so many resources to help people with a property, and people just get scared and they try and do everything on their own.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially when you don't know the market. You don't even know what you're looking for. So, you need a specialist. All right. And can you give me an example of how you helped a buyer?
Okay, so I had a young couple, helping them land their dream home, basically saving them money and time in the process. First home buyers, great people, smart with their budget, so they were really good, they didn't fly off the handle with that. But just every weekend was the same story, go to an open, fall in love, and then miss out at auction, and they'd been trying for absolute months.
A lot of frustration.
Yeah, and I suppose that's a buyer's advocate's dream client, is somebody that's really tried to do it on their own and then realises that just a little bit of guidance really does help. So they did. They came frustrated and exhausted just from the time. And within 2 weeks, we found them an off-market property. Off-market meaning it hasn't come onto real estate.com or domain yet. That's what they consider an off-market property.
Yep.
Property sometimes in the first 4 weeks, when an agent gets it, they try to do this off-market campaign, again, present it to buyers advocates with an opportunity.
So you have access to these properties?
So we have access to these properties.
Yep.
And it was in the suburb that they want, a growing suburb. It ticked every box: location, size, potential. I suppose that's part of the strategy, as well as really, finding out everything that people want. And the kicker was that there were 9 other people that bid for the property.
Oh, amazing.
But I suppose our strength came in where we knew what the vendor wanted, the terms, not just the price. Terms are really important. And we structured our offer to suit the seller. You need to respect the seller as much as you want to do right by your buyer.
Absolutely.
And just made it an easy yes for them. So it was a win-win on both sides. Our couple moved in within 30 days and no stress and no bidding war. So that's where having a buyer's advocate in your corner is the key to
Makes
success.
the whole difference. Yeah, amazing. What sets you apart from other buyers agents in the market? What is that you do differently?
Okay, yes, there are a lot of us. I suppose 22 years of experience have brought out the good, the bad, and the ugly. One of the big things is it's about strategy, not only about the property, and it's not just about finding a home, it's about helping them make a smart decision. Again, it's a very emotional
Process.
buy, and you need to make sure that we're thinking with our heads the whole time to keep centering them back to what their goals were, whether they're buying to live in or invest, building equity, mapping out a clear path, low volume, high focus. We don't jiggle dozens of clients at a time. Work closely with selected few, very often just one-on-one, and they get real attention, tailored advice, and fast action, which matters most, So we all want to be important, and my clients come first.
Yeah, that's good.
So it isn't just a transaction for us. It's a mission. I mean, if I'm going to find you a home, I would want to be living in it as well.
Yep.
So I'm here to help win without the stress or second guessing what you've bought.
Amazing. I can see why you're different. You're the same as us. When you're working with a client, you need to really, it's like a bespoke. It's a bespoke process. So the client matters, not just the money, not just the seller, the buyers as well.
It needs to be tailored. I mean, everybody's different.
Yeah.
So it really needs to be a tailored approach.
Amazing. And how can you help sellers of property? Because you help the buyers, but how can you help the sellers?
Okay, so at Metrolinx, we buyer and vendor advocates. So sellers, we are called with the other hat vendor advocates. So we represent the seller to sell smart and to buy smarter. So we don't just sit with the sellers to find out what they're selling. We also need to see what their goals are to what they're going to be buying. So we have the right strategy on terms for sale. What I mean is, you might have heard, if you've bought a property, would you like to move in or call it settlement in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? And I will make sure that the seller, that we've got the right strategy for the seller, knowing what they buy. So it's not just them selling them home. Match them up with the right real estate agent. So we do get agents to appraise and find the right agent that's actually going to fit with the clients and the process. And to make sure that the agent is aligned with our goals. Yeah, so selling's not just about price, but it's also about the terms, about what happens. So we are there to help them through the marketing campaign, the inspections, and just keeping real estate agents accountable for the campaign of the seller.
Oh, good. So you take care of the whole process.
The kicker on this one is that it's a free service to the seller. The real estate agent that we choose to sell the property pays us our fee. So the seller is getting a professional to help them, and it comes free of charge.
It's really amazing. Okay, that's good to know. And how do real estate agents work alongside vendor advocates?
That's a really interesting question, because a lot of the time I hear people say, well, why would a real estate agent want to work with a vendor's advocate? Are we going to get the same service from them? Is it to our advantage? Real estate agents are hired to sell a property. Vendor advocates are there to work alongside the seller to make the agent deliver the best results. And as I said before, keep them accountable. So agents run the sale of the property, handle the opens, the buyer's interest, and the vendor advocate advises the seller. So, choosing the right agent, review the marketing plan, any offers that they might have. If they're going to auction, just help them set their reserve price and just hold their hands and go through the process so they're not overwhelmed and they understand what the next steps and the processes are. So I do believe that we work together really well as a team. I think we complement one another.
That's good, because, I wouldn't think so, but that's good. That's good to know.
Well, I mean, it's when, as a vendor's advocate, if we've got a good relationship with the seller, it does help the agent, because if they have an issue or they've had anything come up with an offer, knowing the closeness that we have with the seller, it just makes it an easier way of saying, Cynthia, can you talk to your seller about this? It really does build a good team. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know.
So today I'm talking to Glaucia from Renovaction, and they are bespoke cabinet makers. Mm-hmm. Very high end, if I may say so myself. Glaucia, a question for you as a woman in cabinet making industry or in the building industry. How do you manage working in a traditionally male dominant environment?
Yeah, that's really funny actually, because most of my private clients are women, and I think that they feel more comfortable working with me. Having another woman coming to their houses make them feel safer and more relaxed. I feel that we can chat more openly, and they feel more comfortable by, even when they don't know the right terms, or they don't know what they want, they feel more open to talk to me. And I also feel that we get each other. It's like a natural connection that we have, and that makes a huge difference, especially because we are working on something so personal, and that makes a huge difference. It builds trust from day one. So that's what I feel, that they feel heard and that they feel at ease.
So the woman is the one that's really putting the plans together with the cabinetry and how they want the kitchen and their wardrobe and all those things too.
They are making the big decisions.
They're making decisions. Excellent. I love it. So how do you keep your designs fresh and unique while still making sure that they fit the client's needs? I mean, do you have a target market, that move with? It's 2025 now. How does the cabinetry industry work?
Yes. So about the design, keeping the design fresh and still meeting the client's needs, it's all about a good briefing. So we always start with a good briefing, and we always listen first. So people normally tend to think that I will start with the questions, but in fact it is quite the opposite. I will begin by inviting them to talk, and I will listen. Then the next step would be asking the right questions. Then I will ask the right questions to guide the things along. That's actually the beauty of custom work, because we have to know that everyone, they live differently, they have different homes, their homes work in different ways. So it's really important for us to understand how they use the space, how they cook, how they relax, how their mornings usually go. So once we've got a really good idea of a really good feel for that, we then begin the creative process. We bring in the ideas, we start choosing the materials, then the whole process starts. And then it's really important to say that no two projects are the same, never will be the same. They may have a few things in common, but because it is custom, it's unique. It is just made for them. So that's how we try to manage the design with the client needs and keeping everything fresh.
Interesting. Really personal service.
It is. Like yours.
Love it. What's the biggest challenge you face when designing customers' cabinetry for a client who doesn't have an idea? If they really don't have an idea, how do you start off getting their juices flowing?
It is hard. It's a bit tricky, but as we've just discussed, everything starts with a good briefing, but then one thing that helps a lot is inspiration pictures. So I normally tell my clients, jump on Pinterest, have a look, create some boards, and that's an amazing way to collect ideas and to start understanding what you like and what you don't like, what you want, what you don't want. So, and then we also do the 3D drawings, which honestly is a lifesaver. It helps my clients to visualize the space and how it will look, how it will feel. That's another thing. And also, over time, we've learned to understand, translate things that the client says. For example, we probably are the same. They come to me and they say, I want a space that will feel cozy but modern, but not too modern. But I wanted to be a little bit rustic, but not like a farmhouse. So you start learning, you develop like a second language to understand the client needs. That's
That
what
comes
it is.
with experience.
Absolutely, yes.
So going to the next level, how do you decide what the best material is for a project?
We look at a few things. How the space will be used, client's budget, the style that they like. Some materials look beautiful, for example, but they're not always practical. So we always try to suggest options that may not only look great, but also stand the test of time. Also, the location of the cabinetry is really important, not only whether it's going to be outdoor or indoor, but where the cabinetry will be installed, which room. And we also look at things like the sunlight exposure, who is going to be living in the house, if that person has kids or pets, if it's a busy household, and then it means that we may need to use a material that is more durable or easy to clean. So everything depends on a lot of things. But in the end, it is all about finding the right balance, something that will switch the client lifestyle, the look, the budget, everything. It's everything together.
Wow, this is fascinating. So what's the most unexpected thing you've learned about cabinet making and running that kind of a business?
I didn't realize how much of this job is about people and trust. It is because clients let us into their homes and lives, and trust means a lot. It's not just about cabinets, it is about where they will cook with their kids, where they will start their day. You've got to take your time and really care. That's exactly how you do as well. It is not about the property, not about just buying a property. It's much more than that. So in our case, design and building matters, of course, but a big part of what we do is listen. We really listen to the client and we understand what they need. Another thing that also surprised me was how emotional this process can be, because some people have been waiting for the cabinetry for years, for the dream kitchen or the dream robes. So it's a very emotional process as well. It's really interesting.
It's interesting that you say that, because even when I have clients buying and they pick out little things, and it's like they use our trades, because I can then comfortably say, don't worry about that pantry,
Yes.
because I have somebody that I can introduce you to help you do that. And I think it sounds the same thing. People, once they trust you, they trust what you say.
Absolutely.
So if you have somebody or trade that you want to use, the trust's there 100%, because you're spending so much of their money. So once you have that trust, you can guide them.
And you get to know them as well.
Correct. So that's amazing.
Exactly.
How would you go about designing something for a client that they would love, and you know that this is what they've always wanted, but it's not something that would appeal to you? How would you go about dealing with a client like that?
It takes a lot of time until you know how to do it and how to deal with it, because it's a challenge, but it is also part of the fun. Challenging is good. Our job is to bring the client's vision to life, not our own style, because at the end of the day, it's their home, their space. They will be the ones living in there and seeing whatever they have the whole day, the whole life, and they need to be happy with it. Also, it is so rewarding to see how happy the client is when the project is finalized, even if it's not something that we would have picked. So in the end, it doesn't really matter, because our purpose is to make the client happy with the decisions, needs to be functional. We can guide them on other things like functionality, but it needs to make them happy. So I would say we need to be flexible, and being flexible and open-minded is the key in this case.
The client that he was a single guy and, had that unit, and then suddenly moved in with a girlfriend, and then they called you and they said, can you come redo the robes? And that was a big change, because it was him alone when he bought it, and suddenly the girlfriend moves in, and then it's like, okay, well, now we have to accommodate a woman, because it's not the same as a man, and you just, you can read them and fit that in perfectly.
Absolutely, yeah. Alrighty, so Cynthia, as myself, you are a woman in this industry that is dominated by men. So how do you feel working in this industry as a woman?
I think COVID actually brought out the strength in women in real estate. Sell ourselves strongly by the service, not necessarily by our clothing and our cars. So, yeah, COVID actually brought out more of women in real estate, especially auctioneers. And as a buyer's advocate, the relationship that we have with the clients, a lot of the time it is the woman, the mum, that's really making the decisions. And as you had said, just having that trust we meet the clients face to face, always the initial consultation, and they let you in their homes. And a lot of the time it is on the weekend or it is after hours, and you just need to have that trust in that person because you have nothing, you actually don't know. So it's building that rapport and that trust. And a lot of the clients that we deal with are the woman. So I think that just really, yes, it is a male dominating, but maybe from a sales point of view, but in buyer's advocacy, yes, it's really strong as a woman in real estate.
It's becoming more common, which is good.
It is becoming more common. Even vendor advocacy, it's just not something people even know about. Like they look at you like you're crazy. But that help is there. And it's not a matter of taking business away from a real estate agent. It's just people might buy 1 or 2 houses in their lives and they might sell 1 or 2 houses in their lives. So this is not something that they do every day.
Yeah.
So by doing it every day and inspecting houses multiple days a week, it is a service, and we can just, nip it in the bud in certain things because we just know our processes. And everything's tailored because no client's identical. No. Everybody wants something different. So, so the tailoring, but it's just getting to know different personalities. And I think one of the biggest things is knowing your suburbs, and just keeping your, sticking to your lane and your niche. And women can multitask.
Oh, yes, we can.
We're very good at it. So, 100%. So that's great.
That's good. I'm curious to know, do you have any horror story for us?
Okay, so there's always a challenge. Happy to say we do have a 100% success rate, but not everything runs smoothly.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I'm actually currently working with clients, gorgeous clients, and this is where I also find sometimes as the advocate, it's being able to support your clients against their parents and their family, especially when they're first home buyers, and keeping the noise out of their heads, and they came to me, they paying me, so, helping them. I've got these clients at the moment and found a house, and they have been looking, they'd been missing out at auction, got myself and Metrolinx to help them out, found a beautiful home. We were actually meant to go to auction on Saturday, and the mother of the wife said the house is ugly, and the girl just given in and said, well, we're not going for that home. But inside the house, it ticked every box.
Yeah.
So these are the challenges that
property would be perfect.
I respect the client, and it's fine. We'll go back to the drawing board. But, I'd sometimes feel that I need to be a psychologist or, trying to, save a marriage or, save a family.
Yes.
And just, letting my client know that I'm there for my client. I don't think you would call it a horror story, but not everything runs smoothly because everybody's got an opinion from a friend, a co-worker, a family member, and it's trying to bring them back to, okay, this is about you. It's great that people have an opinion, but this is about you. So, those can really be challenging times, really challenging times. And then, you've also got your clients that feel that, well, we'll just challenge you to see how strong you are or, what you can do. So they just go out and do it just because they can.
Yeah.
They're not achieving anything.
Yeah.
So not every client is ideal, and not every purchase or sale is perfect. But again, in time and in years of listening to the clients, understanding them, to hopefully be able to have a recommendation or an answer for them to guide them in the direction that I know in my heart needs to be done, but you just have to tread really lightly and not give in. But just,
absolutely.
What do they say? Slow and steady wins the race. So, yes.
Baby steps
and every client's different, just like yours.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So you can never say same, because it's never the same.
No.
And that's why I love my job, is because day after day, client after client, it's a new experience every time.
Oh, that's good. That's what I love about my job as well.
Okay, I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Okay.
Coming to Australia,
Mm-hmm.
what made you get into cabinet making?
William used to work in cabinet making in Brazil. So he's been working with cabinet making for around 14 years. And he was working for someone else here in Brazil and then here in Australia for about 8 years. And then we decided to open our own because the only way for you to work in the way you like and to really bring your vision to life on how to do things is if you run your own businesses. Even if you work for a company that is open-minded, it is really hard for you to really do what you want. So that's why we decided to open our own. And then I came into the business when the business was around 6 months, I think. So for me, everything was pretty new and I'm still learning a lot. But it is so rewarding to work with people, to be part of their personal life. And as I said before, most of my private clients, when they're renovating, doing a new kitchen or wardrobe, they've been waiting to do it for such a long time. And they have so many images and ideas and things that like they've been dreaming a lot. So it is super rewarding because as I always say, I can only have, of course I can be moving houses and renovating kitchens for myself, but I won't be doing this because it's not just how life is. I can have 1, 2, 3 kitchens, 4 kitchens in my whole life. But when I'm working with my clients, when I'm doing these projects for them, it is like I'm doing something for myself. Every day, a new color, a new material, a new space, new design solutions. So it is so rewarding.
That's what I say. Can't buy something for somebody else if I wouldn't live in it.
Yes.
So
yes,
do you
absolutely.
feel that this just helped you settle in Australia because you had the business and it's just taught you a little bit of the culture of some of the people, you know?
Yes, especially for me because my previous job, I used to work for an educational agency and my directors were Brazilian and I used to work with Brazilian students, Colombian students, so I didn't have much contact with the Australian people. William always had, but myself personally, I didn't have that contact. So since we started the business, my life changed. I grew a lot personally, and I've learned a lot about the culture, the people, and I love it. I really love it. It is we're kind of similar, the Brazilian and Australia in a way, but you just start picking up things and learning more, and it's so important because we plan to live here for our whole lives. So it is so important to learn and to add to the culture as well.
Well, it's true. I mean, I'm born English speaking, and you come to a different country and it's like lost in translation. Yes, Australians speak English, but they shorten words. They create their own words. They should have their own dictionary. So
I know.
Yeah, so it just moves in. That's great.
It's really interesting. It's
really exciting.
Yeah, everyone should go to live in a different country at least once in their lives. It is really interesting.
It's a big move. I mean, we came here, and I think I'm totally off topic. When you move a country, it's really difficult. We had COVID, and we got locked, and we were in lockdown. That was nothing on moving a country.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of the foreigners probably were better off and had better strength in themselves because they didn't have any roots. Like when they came, they didn't have a home, they didn't have roots, they didn't have a job. So we were used to making it work and finding the best outcome.
Yes.
So I think we got strength in moving countries and just... So we have to hold up the 4 worlds. It's not the end of the world. As long as we've got food on the table and a roof over our heads, like we just make it. And
I totally get it.
And I think that's where in property, that's what gives me the most satisfaction is being able to put a roof over people's heads and they're happy, especially when they're young and you get to the first child, second child, and then they reach a stage where their children now want to buy a home or they're downsizing. It's been many years, and yours would be the same thing. Somebody buys a home and then they've put in your cabinetry and you see how their lives go from better to better to better.
Yes.
So a lot of satisfaction.
It is, yes, agree.
Thanks for tuning in to the VSBN Podcast. We hope today's episode gave you the inspiration and insights to help your business succeed. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe. Connect with us by visiting vsbn.com.au. You'll see the profiles of today's lovely members and you'll be able to engage with them if you have further questions. Until next time, keep connecting.